Welcome back, everybody. Episode, 11 of season 3. Or are we starting a new season?
Season 4.
Oh, it's season 4.
Episode
Congratulations,
1.
you made it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Episode. But we haven't done, they haven't really tracked the years. We haven't been doing this for 4 years.
But we usually start January
1
of the new season.
Okay, so
Season 4.
season 4, episode 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
Wow. It's a big one.
It's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I can barely. I'm so excited for the news I'm about to deliver.
I can
I'm
see
like
it.
over the moon. Everybody, Root Beer got engaged.
She did.
Root Beer.
That's root beer.
Congratulations.
Thank
Yes.
you.
The voice you hear is not David Allen Boucher. The voice you hear is Matt Lazowski. Did I say it right?
Matt Lazowski.
Matt
That's
Lazowski.
Right. That's right.
Thank you, everybody. Not David Allen Boucher. As much as we want it to be, no offense, Matt, we want it to be David Allen Boucher. It is not. But so you got engaged, Root Beer.
Yeah.
Johnny Cops.
Tell us all about it.
It was the night after the Christmas party when everybody said, "When are you getting engaged?"
Yeah.
to John.
Oh, really?
And he felt no. I mean, it was the night
So
after.
we pressured
but
him?
Yes. Yeah.
He was ready to go, I bet.
Well, he already
Yeah.
had the ring.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
December 22nd?
December 22nd.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the video on Instagram. It was quite the video.
Yeah.
It was
I saw it too. It's
Did you
kinda
see
cute.
it?
I kind of cried a little bit.
Yeah, a little
Did
tear.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice. He was very happy.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was very happy. He set up the camera to film it. I was like,
So you
everything.
didn't know that the camera was there?
No, I had no idea. Oh, did you see my outfit?
I
you see
did.
the
It was
socks?
horrible.
It was awful.
No, the outfit was
I
incredible.
had Christmas socks on, to be expected.
Yeah, it was
it's
Christmas
Christmas.
time.
Yeah.
Wow.
No idea.
So now what?
Now we get married.
When?
I don't know.
Where?
Vegas.
Really?
I would like that. Yeah.
Is he down for that?
He is.
I feel like he's got a big family, though.
He does.
I got to tell you, I'm a little disappointed in the Vegas thing. I'm not going to lie to you.
Are you?
Yeah, a little bit.
I am too, actually.
Well,
I wanted to go.
so we're gonna have a big party.
No, but I want, no.
That's
That's
different.
not
It's not the
acceptable.
wedding.
Funded by crowd lending.
Yeah, okay. I got 2 of my own daughters. I'm saving for that. And Keithy's got 1. Do you have any daughters?
2 boys.
2 boys, so
Boys. Yep.
you don't have to worry about that.
We'll do something. We'll have a party of some sort. You guys are on the list.
Oh, gee,
Already.
thanks. I appreciate that. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And Johnny Cops, it's about time, and you better start listening because now you're really family. I got a couple new additions to the set. I don't know if you can see them here, but my sister gave me this. My sister Doris, our number 1 fan, and this is the lyrics to "Rapper's Delight," which her and I sing, at parties and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then, do you see the little coffee, the Nudge coffee?
Cough drops.
They're not cough drops. They're like coffee flavored candies called Nudge. So Matt, the name of the podcast is Everybody Needs a Nudge, which is my nickname.
Okay.
Okay, been a family nickname. My father was, they call him Mr. Nudge now, but he was the original Nudge. My mother calls my father Nudge and has called him that since they were dating when they were 11, 12, 13 years old. And then the idea behind it is all the little nudges in your life that got you where you are, seated here today with your 2 sons, and your whole life and your business and all that stuff. So we'll eventually get to that, but we do some talking before that.
Yeah. We'll chit chat.
Absolutely.
So couple of things that I've noticed that doesn't make a lot of sense to me is, do you put the do not disturb on your text messages?
Never.
No.
Do you?
No, never.
So do you got young boys? Do they put it on there?
My oldest one has like silenced or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Is it the same as the one
yeah.
that you put on at night when you're
No,
sleeping?
no. So this it looks different. Like so I got a 17-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son. But you send a message and it says that they have their do not disturb, but do you want to send it anyway? Do you see that? You know
Yes.
what I'm talking about?
I
Yes.
do.
So what's the point of having it on if I have the option to send it anyway?
If it's an emergency.
Well, yeah, but every time I send a text message, I press send it anyway.
Does it go through?
Yeah, because they respond immediately.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
It's dumb. I don't know why they
I
have
didn't know that was an option to.
Well, the other
Message
option
somebody
is
with it.
it has messages quieted.
Right, but that I don't think you can bypass that.
Well, it says notify anyway.
That's what I'm talking about.
So it's the same. Yeah, the same option for that one too.
That's right.
You can notify anyway.
Yeah, and then you hit it and it kind of explodes onto the screen. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. That's right.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. I enjoy
I
it.
notified you.
Yeah. You've been notified.
Quiet me? No.
I don't think so. You better listen up.
It's kind of like nudging somebody.
That's exactly.
100%
See, now
what
he's
it
getting
is.
it. He's already getting it. Fitting right in. So we got some new shoes on the set too.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, let's talk about those.
These are Municipals.
Yeah. This today's sponsor.
Today's sponsor, Municipal clothing line, apparel line.
No one can see him over there.
Coming. Yeah. Yeah, great
Get 'em?
shoe, great comfy shoe actually.
Yeah?
Not for lifting or running or crossfitting or climbing mountains, but everyday office wear.
Yeah.
Very comfy.
Crowdlending. Blue.
So would that be considered a dress sneaker?
Sure. Yeah, we can call it dress sneaker.
Yeah.
Great shoe. Go get yourself a pair. They're nice, comfy,
Yeah.
comfies. Let me know if you want a pair. Keith at crowdlending.com.
Municipal. This is today's sponsor.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of crowd lending, where it's functional, comfortable, and familiar.
Oh, wow.
This guy right here.
There we go.
This guy.
Yeah.
He's
Fits right
coming.
in.
He's coming back.
It's right in.
And we were talking earlier about. I see you've got a thermo flask here. You've got a Yeti over there.
Stanley.
Stanley.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the story of this company, Stanley? Do you know?
No.
Do you know it at all?
No.
Is it the construction tool company?
It is a construction company, Stanley. Do they make tools?
Yeah.
Been around for 100 years.
Yep.
And they made these Stanleys that all the women are now using, carrying them around for guys on the construction site, so they wouldn't, they're pretty heavy duty, they won't spill, they got the straw, blah, 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 blah. And you know what their sales were in 2019?
I don't, but I'm going to say they were low compared to what they were this past year.
So they were $73 million in sales, this product, okay? Mostly to construction workers. A mother, an influencer mother on the Instagram, started pumping them. You know what their sales were in 2023? Want to take a guess?
$7 billion.
No, come on, God.
200 million.
Nope.
500 million.
$750 million.
Wow.
10 times.
10x, because some mom somewhere started lugging that thing around, and now everybody has one.
Influence.
Two of my kids, Rose has one. Annabelle's holding off. She won't get one. My wife got one. Amazing. Truly amazing.
That is.
Right? The power of social media and the internet.
It's wild.
Grew a company that's been around for 100 years, grew it by 10x in 3 years because they were able to tap into a market they had never even thought of ever tapping into. Right? Now they make them in pink and all kinds of different colors, right?
Right.
They also, what they've also done, these Yetis and Stanleys, is they've made public drinking completely acceptable.
That's true.
100%.
Yeah.
That could be vodka in there. I have no idea knowing. And it's acceptable for you to walk into any establishment that you could ever go, hockey rink, soccer field, basketball court, church, wherever you go. It could be filled with booze,
Could be.
right?
Never
Yeah.
know.
Never know.
Never know. And you could tell me it's coffee. Yeah. Yeah. Am I right or am I wrong, Matt?
100%.
100% right.
I mean, I think it's been around for a while. It's just allowed it to come out of the closet now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Mm.
So, another really interesting story that I heard. Do you ever hear the story of Rocky, the movie Rocky, Sylvester Stallone?
Yes.
That whole story. Do you know the story?
Mm-hmm.
So he wrote that. He was so he grew up, he was expelled from 4 high schools, moved to New York. His parents neglected him. He moved to New York to be a movie star. He was making no money. He was cleaning lion cages at a zoo, and he wrote Rocky Balboa. He sat down and wrote for 20 hours straight, and wrote Rocky, the first Rocky. He then wrote the screenplay in 3 days. He then went to sell the whole thing. Now he's got no money. Okay, you know the dog Buckus, his dog, that was actually his dog. And he was so poor that he had to sell the dog. Sold his dog for $50. Yeah, sold his
know.
dog for $50. He was married at the time, had no money, didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Someone offered him $125. This is Stallone. Someone offered him $125,000 for the screenplay. He said, only if I'm the lead.
That's right. Yeah.
And they said no. Then they offered him $250,000. He said no, because they didn't want him to be the lead. They wanted to get a established actor to do it. Finally, they came to an agreement, and obviously he gets the lead. They give him a check. What's the first thing he does with the check?
Buys the dog back.
Buys the dog back for $3,000. Buys the dog back for $3,000. Okay, then obviously Rocky Balboa is Rocky. You know, the franchise is now worth $1.4 billion.
Does he have a part of that? Is he?
Yeah, it's him.
It's him.
It's him.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's him.
Yep.
And that movie grossed $200 million on like a $2 million budget.
Yeah.
They made it on a shoestring. And if you watch the movie, you could tell it was made like on a shoestring.
Yeah.
Right? But imagine that.
Huh.
Talk about believing in yourself.
Yeah.
There's a documentary on him.
Oh, really?
On Netflix.
About
or Prime. Yeah, about the whole story.
Yeah, amazing.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, talk about resolve.
Yeah, big time. So I saw another great little story about the 2016 Villanova basketball team, and they are coming down. Are you a sports fan?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. So 2016 Villanova wins the national championship. They beat North Carolina in the final game. And they're interviewing the coach, whose name escapes me. He's an Italian guy. And he's telling the story about the last, 30 seconds and how the whole season the big message was, how do you react when something bad happens to you? What's your next emotion? What's your next reaction to that? And in that game, Villanova had a 10-point lead, and North Carolina came all the way back, and with 6 seconds left, they hit this crazy 3-pointer to tie the game, and so they call timeout, and he's like, every single player is walking off the floor. Nobody shrugged their shoulders. Nobody hung their head. Nobody was like, oh my God, can you believe that shot went in? They were all just saying the word attitude, attitude, attitude. And he was like, if I could have ended the game right there on that moment when my team was coming back to me and they weren't sulking, they didn't feel like they got the raw end of a stick, they weren't focused on what happened in the past. Their attitude after that shot was, let's control our attitude, make sure we're positive here. And of course, they go out, they come up the floor with 4 seconds left, and they hit a buzzer beater to beat North Carolina 77-74.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's just an incredible, okay, something bad happens to you. What's your next move?
Right.
Yeah.
What's your next? Because most people, myself included, I'm not, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Did you see that? I can't believe that. Oh, that deal fell through. Or can you believe that broker did that? Or I can't believe that borrower's not going to pay. All the little things that you deal with, and you're like, oh. And that,
stoic.
yeah. But
You
it would
can't control the world, but you can control how you react to the world.
attitude, effort, energy.
Yeah.
Now it's with this, and I forget his Jay.
Right.
Is that him? Jay Wright. Attitude, effort, energy. Those are the 3 things you can control. I just thought that was a great story.
Great story.
Great coaching story. You got
Can
any
I add
jokes?
to that?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's interesting. I subscribe to this daily email called the Daily Coach.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to subscribe to that.
Hold on, let me write that down.
Yeah, I'll send it to you guys.
Yeah,
And
please do.
literally this morning when I got it, the title of it was "Use the Difficulty."
Okay.
Use the difficulty, and it's a story about Michael Caine, the actor.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but essentially, when he was younger, he was on a Broadway play, and he was trying to go through this door, and there was a chair in front of it. So he goes to the producer, and the producer goes, "Use the difficulty." And he goes, "Well, what do you mean, use the difficulty?" And the producer says, "Well, if it's drama, pick up the chair and smash it. If it's a comedy, fall over it." Right? So he said that stuck with him for life. And the lesson is, whatever that difficulty is, use it as a lesson to overcome and find the silver lining.
And that's what he did.
That's exactly right.
Wow.
Right. It
I
ties
like
right
that.
into what you said.
I
Isn't that
like that.
amazing?
I like
It's pretty
that.
cool.
Amazing how that's and you got that this morning.
I got and actually I copied and pasted it, and our CEO Steve Jacobson at Fairway, he sends out a very positive email every morning. I replied and I copied and pasted this to him.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
like the opposite email that I send out every morning.
Yeah, I wish our CEO did something like that.
Everybody teaches differently, I guess. Everybody leads differently.
Hey, you know what? You got to nudge in the way you got
That's
to
it.
nudge.
That's right. That's right. You got to nudge in the way you got to nudge.
Look, Dan, you got to
No,
be.
You guys
be you.
doing?
Be you.
So Keithy,
Yes.
I learned something about the Irish.
Okay.
The Irish have a tradition. The Irish have a tradition on New Year's Eve. Did you know this? That they open the back
Back
door
doors, yeah. to
and let
everyone
out
in.
the
Yeah.
last year and open the front door to let in the new year.
Yeah. Irish people are the best.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, I like the Irish. I'm half Irish, so
Half the best.
I know some of them, but I mean, all of them are the best. The Irish do have pizzazz, though. I will say that.
They
My
do.
mother's got pizzazz. I'll tell you.
My mom does too.
100% Irish, 81 years old. She's on spring break from like June to August. It's amazing. She is. It's amazing. My sisters are down there. It's great. They have a great time. Keith, you got any jokes? So we usually tell some jokes.
I
So if you
know.
haven't, they have to be clean jokes.
I know, that's the problem.
And like dad jokes. So Matt, if you have any special dad jokes tucked away in your brain,
I wasn't ready, so I was just going
Wait,
through
hold
my,
on a second.
my folder.
Let's just rewind that comment. What do you mean you weren't ready?
Well,
we booked this with Matt.
I
I don't
know.
know, 3 weeks ago.
And the problem was my
Beginning of
schedule
December.
was so packed today that I had to move a bunch of things around. I wasn't even sure I was going to be here.
Where were you going to be? Where
I
else?
had that interview.
The job interview?
Yeah,
How'd that go?
Going really well.
Good. If you need a recommendation, let me know.
I already gave him your name. Let's see here. I don't know if I've read these ones already.
Oh man.
What does an orphan call a family photo?
Selfie.
Yep.
That's good. That's good.
Oh boy. I think I read the difference between Iron Man, Iron Woman. I did that.
Yeah,
one
you did that
already,
one. Yeah.
What do you call a two-legged cow? I did that one.
No.
Your mom?
On that note, so somebody sent me a picture of a golf ball,
Oh, I saw.
and it was like in the. Would you play golf? Are you a golfer?
I own a set of clubs.
Okay.
Put it that way.
So there's a golf ball off in the woods, right? And you can print stuff on the golf ball, right? Like you get a crowd lending golf ball or a fairway mortgage golf ball. This one said, "If you found this, give it to your mom. I'll get it back tonight."
Oh, jeez. That's funny.
That's funny.
That's
right?
funny.
That's
That is
good.
funny.
It's clean and it's funny. No more jokes?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good for today.
All right. I don't have any real jokes. Nothing. I don't have any.
Is that a joke?
That's
No.
a joke.
No.
Something's.
Something's
What's
brewing.
next?
No, I don't. I only have, my, speaking of my mother, she's, her mother started, my mother started walking when she was 65. Walks 10 miles a day. We have no idea where she is. Get it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
My other ones are stupid.
No, I want to hear it now.
Yeah.
Have you seen the price of chimneys lately? Through the roof.
That's good.
Like that one?
That's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't trust stairs either. They're always up to something.
I think we were on the same website today. You and I.
All right. Okay. I'll save my last story for the end, which I think is very fitting. But, Matt, we're going to get into you now. So, Matt, we essentially start at the beginning. So, where were you born?
I was born in Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that where you grew up?
West Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
West Hartford better than Hartford?
Depends who you're asking.
Okay. I'm asking you.
Yes.
Okay. And brothers, sisters, mother, father.
Yeah, 2 older sisters, 67 and one is 63.
Okay.
Yep. My mother and father are still alive.
Oh, God love 'em.
Literally talked to them driving down here today.
So will they listen?
Well, once I give them the link.
Yeah. Will they be able to figure it out? My mother can figure it out. My father.
Way. There's no way they'll figure it out. I'll have to help them.
No chance.
No chance. No, not at all.
Do they? So my mother uses an iPad. She's pretty crafty on the iPad. Do your parents use any of it?
They own cell phones.
Okay.
My mother can savvily text heart emojis and how are you and I love you. And she's 89. My dad's 91.
Oh wow.
Yeah, amazing. So my dad's a Holocaust survivor. He's still alive.
Wow.
Is that amazing?
That is amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
So how did he end up in Hartford, Connecticut?
After the war, he lived in the woods for 2.5 years.
Jeez.
One brother and his dad, and then they ultimately got out after the war ended and came to Brooklyn, and then met my mom and moved up to Hartford, and then moved to West Hartford.
Wow. And what was his profession?
He was a plumber.
Okay.
He was a plumber, yeah, heating contractor, yeah.
Wow.
many years.
That's wild.
And mom was
Isn't that
stay at home?
Mom was stay at home.
Yeah.
Took care of the books. Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That was nice.
And
yeah.
so both your sisters local?
One's in West Hartford, one's in Waterford, Connecticut.
Okay, so you're the only one that
I left.
yeah.
That's right.
How come?
I'm the smartest one.
Yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth. Literally right out of my mouth. I was going to say the same thing. All right, so do you go to West Hartford Public Schools coming up?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any sports or any?
Yeah, I played them all. Wrestling, football, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And West Hartford High?
Hall High School. So West Hartford has 2 high schools.
Okay.
Yep.
And so you went to Hall High School.
Went to Hall High School.
How do they pick?
It
Just
depends
based on where you live.
Where you live,
Just simply geographic.
Simply geographic.
Okay.
Exactly.
And were there any, youth sports coaches or teachers or anything sort of coming up that stick in your brain that you'd like to pick up the phone and call if they were still alive?
Oh, my Lord. My high school football coach was an amazing, true mentor.
Really?
Yeah. I wrote my college essay about him.
Wow.
Yeah. A life coach, a true life coach. Yeah.
So
incredible.
So you obviously play football all the way up as a youth player and then get into the high school, or do you start in the high school?
I started in high school. Jewish mothers are a little overprotective.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I asked her.
No football.
Yeah, that's right. 'cause
Yeah.
you can
Play
get
the
hurt,
piano.
Right. So I had to get a certain level of grades, and then.
Well, I like
did.
that. So there's a nudge right there,
That's
right? There's a nudge. You were required to have good grades in order to play football.
That's right.
If you didn't have good grades, you wouldn't be able to play football.
That's right.
A very simple logic, right? For you as a 14, 13, 14, that made sense.
100%.
Right? And my life was very similar. School was everything. And if you did well in school, you had carte blanche to do whatever it is you want. You want to go over to Timmy's house? Go ahead, because you got good grades. You want to go play hockey? Whatever you want to do, you can do it. The second you got bad grades, that all ended.
Yep.
Like that.
Yep.
And the theory was, and it's a great theory, well, if you don't have time to study, how do you have time to play football?
Exactly.
How do you have time to go over to Timmy's house? How do you have time to go down the mall? You don't.
That's right.
Because you should be studying, because your grades stink.
Yep.
And it was a very simple logic, and for me, that resonated, which it obviously did with you as well.
Yeah.
So you start playing football. Finally, Mom says, okay.
That's
Mom
right.
relents, gets you the biggest helmet she can find, and puts you on the football field.
That's right.
And what position?
I played center and guard.
Oh, wow.
Right.
I wouldn't have had you pegged for a center or a guard.
That's correct. Well, when you're slow, they have to figure out where, you're not going to be quarterback, you're not going to be running back.
Put the slow Jewish kid in the
That's
middle.
right. Exactly. Let them get beat up. That's right. Exactly.
So which one did you enjoy more, guard or center?
Center, because, the action with the football, I snapped for punts and extra points.
Okay.
That was fun. Yeah.
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 I would have probably thought guard, because at least the guard you're pulling sometimes, it's sort of getting out on the edge.
I was just going to say that we ran a wishbone.
Okay.
Right. And we had the option. And so the guard would pull. I pulled. That was fun too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. That seems like center, I feel like it's much more grunt work other than the snapping of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just in there.
You are.
Some guys are just going to bang.
Oh, I got beat up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was this coach's name?
Frank Robinson.
Okay.
Frank Robinson, amazing man. And his son, who I played football with, a year older than me, became the coach later in life. I think he still is, was going to retire
At Hall
at Hall High School.
At Hall High.
Yes.
So how long? You're Mr. Robinson. How long was he the coach?
Oh Lord, many years. I forgot. He retired the year I graduated.
So you caught him on the back end.
Caught him on the back end. We went, and nothing to do with me, but I played 3 years. We went 27-3. Went to
Wow.
states twice. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because of him.
Because of him.
It's all about fundamentals.
Yeah.
Right. It's all about fundamentals.
Yeah.
Just sticking with practicing the fundamentals. Be proficient and expert, and focus on what's important.
On the little things.
On the little things. They
Focus on the little things. The
That's
big
right.
things take care of themselves.
Spot on. That's right.
So,
Right.
so you go 4 years at Hall High School.
Yep.
Any teachers besides Mr. Robinson? Was there Matt? What was your if you had to pick a class that was your favorite class, subject wise?
AP US History.
Whoa! Did you see what he just did there?
Yeah.
Just
Sophomore
dropped
year.
a little AP.
Jumped over you a little bit.
Yeah.
That was the only AP course I took, by the way.
AP American history.
US History.
Oh my God! I'd take that class right now if I could.
Loved it.
Oh,
Loved it. Yeah.
American history is like my favorite.
Yeah, me too.
My daughter, we went down and visited the University of Virginia, and Thomas Jefferson started that school. But
Charlottesville.
the
Beautiful.
I mean, the history down there, it was unbelievable. We went up to his house, Monticello,
Yeah.
which still has like the slave quarters.
I've been there multiple times.
Have you really?
Love it.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like the underneath. I screwed up when I bought the tickets, and we were in a little bit of a rush, so we didn't actually get access to the inside. So we just walked the grounds, which was fine. But on the outside of the house, in the foundation, is little rooms where the slaves lived.
That's right. Yep.
And you walk in there, and you're like, oh my God. You can feel the history.
Absolutely.
And one was like the guys that work on the leather. What the hell were they called? The Tanners. And then one was the cooks. And and it was just amazing. And you'd ask how many people were in. There would be 12 people were living in here or whatever it was. It was crazy to see. And it's up on this big beautiful hill. You can see for miles and miles and miles across Virginia land. It's like wow. Really, really neat. So I didn't mean to usurp your story.
No,
but
I used to live in Northern Virginia for 10 years.
Oh, you did?
And I love history. And I went down there and I bought the book. There's a book on Monticello, and I read, this was years ago, but the whole history of that. So after, he was in major debt.
yeah.
And at some point, I forgot when, but his family lost it and other families owned it. And then ultimately it was really, it just got, what's the word?
Disrepair?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And then some foundation bought it and turned it back into.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Incredible story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the teacher? Do you remember the teacher's name of that class?
Absolutely. Liz Devine.
Wow.
Liz Devine.
Was she good looking? That's a we asked that question. I mean, you're a 14-year-old kid.
Look,
Mrs. Cochimilio, fifth
it
grade.
was an appropriate student-teacher relationship. That's all I can tell you.
I'm not saying it wasn't appropriate. I just asked if the woman was attractive. I don't know why you had to go there.
I believe her husband, Tom Devine,
Okay.
who was an English teacher at the high school, loved her and thought she was incredibly attractive.
There we go. You said it without saying it.
That's right. That's right.
So you eventually matriculate to college?
I did. I went to Syracuse University.
Okay, so
That's
Big
right.
East. Back when the Big East was the
That's
Big
right.
East.
That's right.
So if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 53.
Okay, so you were there. I'm 47. I graduated Boston College, so we were there like in the prime of Big East basketball.
It was amazing.
When it was amazing.
Yeah.
Like Georgetown was amazing. Syracuse
Absolutely.
was amazing.
Villanova.
Villanova
Yeah.
was good. BC
Yeah.
was good. Like it was a big.
It was fun.
It was
fun.
And you went down to New York for the Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden. Like those were amazing,
Yeah.
amazing times.
Yeah, great times. Yeah.
And now obviously the Big East is gone. I mean, it's
It's decimated.
what conferences?
ACC.
They went to ACC
They
with
went to
BC,
ACC, yeah.
and Miami went there. But that was, and even the football was pretty good. Rutgers was in that Big East conference.
Yeah, Daryl Johnston, I think, had just graduated. Who was he was the Moose.
The Moose, for
Cowboys.
Dallas.
That's right.
Yeah.
Donovan McNabb played for Syracuse. He was a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
There was a great wide receiver. I forgot his name now, but
Yeah. And the Carrier Dome was legendary.
amazing. Yeah.
And they played basketball in there too, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Did they cut it in half or something? They did. Okay.
Yeah.
Because do you know how much? Yeah, it's huge.
Like 30,000.
Is it? Yeah,
That's big.
that would be a lot for.
I think.
It's got to. It might even be bigger than that.
Maybe it's big.
It's big. I mean, when you, and so I was in Syracuse maybe a year ago, and it's got a cool little downtown. I don't know what it looked like when you were there, but it had a cool little downtown with a bunch of bars and.
It's they call it M Street.
Yeah,
it was there and it's been there for a while.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Yeah.
And then you kind of drive out, and the way we were driving, the Carrier Dome was on the left, and it looked like something. It looked like the Colosseum in Rome. I mean, it was enormous and up on a hill.
Yep.
Like it was huge. Great school.
Unbelievable. I did apply to Cornell early. I always like people always make fun of me because I say that.
Why?
I wanted to go.
No, but why do they make fun of you?
Because I didn't get in. I say it all the time.
Oh, you just tell people for shits and giggles, hey, I didn't get in?
Yeah, I didn't get in.
Yeah. I wouldn't tell people that.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm telling you. Can you edit it out?
I don't know why I told you that.
I don't know.
Amazing.
I don't know.
So why Syracuse? Because you didn't get it.
You get me to talk. You get me to open up. It's amazing the skills you have.
Yeah. I was going to take
insurance. By the way,
I was gonna say, why'd you get into Syracuse? But the answer is because I didn't get into Cornell. So that question's answered itself.
There you go.
Why? What? And I don't mean to harp on this, but why was Cornell the number one?
So I had geeked out on a book by Carl Sagan called Contact and Cosmos, and he was an astronomy professor there.
Yeah.
So
you wanted to go. You wanted to go.
I wanted to go
learn from him.
Absolutely.
Because you geeked out on some book.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was going to be some kind of astronaut. No.
Okay.
I don't know why, but that's the reason.
Now you're sitting in a chair next to me. How'd that work out for you?
Pretty damn good.
How old are you now? So how old are your two boys now? You got 14 and 16.
14 and 16.
So the 16's got to be a sophomore?
He's a sophomore.
Okay, so you got a little time. So you're not quite. And the 14-year-old is an 8th grader?
He's a sophomore. Freshman.
Wow, that's amazing.
No,
He's a freshman. Super smart kid, huh? He might get into Cornell.
Yeah. We're still figuring out if it's mine or not. Yeah.
All right. So, but back up. So, other than the fact that you didn't get into Cornell, you must have applied to some other schools.
I did.
Okay. Yeah. And chose Syracuse. Why?
One is the campus is beautiful.
Yep.
So it really has this traditional quad, but also there's 13 colleges within the university, and I wasn't 100% sure, and I wanted that flexibility of studying a variety of subjects.
So they didn't make you declare a major walking in the door. You could study for a couple of years or whatever it is and then declare.
That's right.
And that's one of the big. So my daughter is she's a senior now, and she applied to a bunch of schools, and but that was one of the things that she wanted as well. She wanted that flexibility. She didn't want to have to declare at 17 years old.
I mean, I'm not how sure. How can you? Really
how can anybody? No. Unless you're like nursing. Like I can understand that, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, how do you know what you want to do with?
Very few kids know.
Yeah.
Right.
Education, maybe you want to be a teacher. But even so, 17, 18, I mean, you could wake up when you're 20 and be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Now what?
That's right.
Now what do I do?
That's right.
So anybody at Syracuse that sticks out in your brain?
Sophomore year, I got matched up with a guy I didn't know as a roommate. We became best friends. He was my best man at my wedding. I was at his. Great story. Derek, he lives in Hawaii.
He lives in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So there you go. You don't get into Cornell. You meet your best friend who becomes your best man.
Yeah. Yeah.
A nice little nudge right there.
It's amazing. Yeah, that's right.
And do you go out to see him in Hawaii?
I have not been in many years.
Shame on you.
I know. We text.
Yeah, that's nice. So but he has to text you like 6 hours, right?
Yeah. It's 8 hours.
8 hours, yeah.
Or no, maybe it's 6. No, it's 6.
So he's getting up and you're going to bed.
Typically.
I mean, it's pretty close, right? Yeah. So it is a long trip to get to Hawaii, but you should go.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. I'll go again.
Yeah.
I'll go again.
To tell when Derek's listening, hey, buddy.
That's right.
I'm coming out to see you. I'm bringing all my friends. We're going to Hawaii. So Syracuse, what do you study?
Psychology, and then I dual majored in television production.
Really?
Yes.
Keithy, what did you study at Fairfield?
Political science.
Yeah. You have the best major. I was a sociology major. You have like the most street cred major, I think. Wouldn't you? I mean, psychology, sociology.
Yeah. Right.
But the TV thing, that was, so you wanted to go into TV?
Not at all. I just figured it was so expensive, and Newhouse Communications is a great school. Why not?
Okay.
Just sounds good, see?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
No interest. Yeah.
None.
Do you ever see Matthew Berry on ESPN? You guys know him on
No.
ESPN?
I don't even watch ESPN. Is that still a channel?
I haven't watched ESPN in years.
Years. Remember SportsCenter was like must-see TV?
Oh, yeah.
How about Tirico? Mike Tirico?
Yeah.
Mike Tirico went to Newhouse.
He's so Syracuse. You know who went to Syracuse is
It's a huge.
Costas.
Trevor Haas,
Yeah.
the guy that covers. So Keith and I coach a high school hockey team,
Oh, okay.
and Trevor's a Syracuse guy,
Yeah.
I believe. So it's a big communication
is.
school. It's a
Yeah.
big
Radio,
TV school.
Yeah.
but you don't go that route when you
No.
get out.
No.
You go into what?
I went into plumbing with my father.
Really?
I did. Yes.
That was the natural progression at that point.
I was considering going to graduate school to get a PhD in psychology,
Yep.
and realized I don't enjoy writing papers.
Yeah.
And so wasn't sure. And he goes, come on, let's go. And I went to tech school at night and got my master plumber's license in Connecticut.
So you're a master plumber,
I am.
which you could be making bank right now with that. I mean, plumbers are making money right now.
You know, everybody thinks that.
You don't think so?
No. I think what people think is like, oh my God, you're charging me for this. And they think like, why is it so much?
Yeah.
Right. But it's like anything. But there are not a lot of young guys getting into
There
it.
are not.
No.
So I have to ask, your father seems like a pretty tough guy.
He's a tough guy.
Yeah. I mean, survived the Holocaust, lived in the woods, moved his family to America, in the plumbing business, which is not an easy business.
No.
What did he think about your pursuit of psychology?
My father is the most loving, compassionate man that I know. So he was supporting me in whatever I wanted to
That's
do.
amazing.
Yeah, he's a good man.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
He's a good man. Yep.
I don't know that my father would have said that.
No.
And my father's a great, listen, my father's a great man. Wonderful, loving, caring, generous, kind, all of those things. But he would not have taken that perspective.
Okay.
He would have taken his perspective was, see, when I went to college, there was almost an understanding that I was going to law school after. So it didn't really matter what my major was. It was like, get good grades, get through, go to law school, and then we'll figure it out from there. My father put a very high value on education, and he thought that the law degree was the way to go. Whether you practiced or not, he thought law school was a very important step. And I tell my kids the same thing. So I practiced law I got out of law school in 2001, over the bar in 2002, and then practiced until 2016. So I practiced law for 14, 15 years. So what I would tell, and if your son came to me and said, hey, what do you think? I would say, go get that education.
Absolutely.
Get that law degree. Learn how to think critically. Learn how to write. Learn how to argue.
Yes.
Don't practice law. Do not practice law. Because the practice of law it's beyond difficult. Not the subject matter. The subject matter is no more difficult than plumbing is, right? Or anything else, in my opinion. The emotional toll that it takes, because 9 times out of 10 you're seeing people in an adversarial situation, and for the most part in the worst situation they've ever been in their life. Like the regular person doesn't need a lawyer, right? Unless something happened.
That's right.
Car accident, drunk driving, crime, something that is at the low point of their life. And what ends up happening is they transfer that guilt and disappointment that they have in themselves, they transfer it to you as their lawyer. Because every time you call, you represent that blip in their life that they were at their lowest. And they start to resent you, and they start to hate you.
Absolutely.
And so at the end of my career, I did real estate closings, and that there was joy in that.
Absolutely. That's a yes.
Right? Because, I mean, you're in the real estate business, you're on the mortgage side. 9 times out of 10, I would dare to say 95 times out of 100,
Absolutely.
people are happy. The people that are selling are happy. The people that
That's
got
right.
the mortgage buying are happy. The
Everybody's
mortgage
happy.
broker's happy.
right.
The real estate agent's happy because they're getting paid. The lawyer's getting paid. Everybody's happy, right? Sometimes you get a bad one because it's a divorce or whatever, and somebody's unhappy that they're selling the house, or it was the mother's house and they don't want, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, those real estate transactions are
Extremely.
extremely happy. So you go into plumbing for a little while.
Yep.
but you must have been in it for more than just a little while.
5 years.
Yeah, that's
5 years.
That's good stress. So now you're 26, 27 years old,
28.
and decide no more.
No more. Was not enjoying it.
Yeah.
No.
No wife, no kids at this point.
No.
Okay.
No.
So you just say, Dad, I'm out,
Yes.
and do what?
Got into technology for transportation and parking.
Okay. What does that mean?
So think of pulling a ticket at a garage.
Okay.
Those kind of machines,
Yep.
apps, license plate recognition, things like that.
So what year is this?
This is 99.
Okay, so the technology boom was just kind of starting with like automated tickets and apps and
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because I remember in '98 I graduated, and I remember getting that was when email really started.
Yeah.
Right in that time frame. How do you get into that business?
A cousin of mine was in that business, and
Okay.
so I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and he was looking to expand, and so that's how I got into it. Yeah,
Family.
family.
So family with the plumbing.
Yeah,
Family with the next step.
that's right.
And how long do you do that for?
20 plus years.
Wow.
Long time. Yeah, a long time.
So that's 99-ish to 19.
To 2020.
2020.
Yeah.
COVID. So you must have seen an incredible growth. I don't even know if growth's the right word, but like just the evolution of technology in parking.
Absolutely.
So when you said parking, the first thing that popped into my head was went to the Bruins game, parked in a meter, got out, got on my app, boop, 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 boop,
Yep.
paid the meter.
Yep.
I mean, that's what you're talking about, right?
Absolutely.
That's Park Boston, it's called. It's amazing.
And I know the guy. So Park Boston is a white labeled app backed by what's coming called Passport Parking. I know those guys who started it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So are they all over the place, those guys? Passport?
Oh, yeah. It's grown. Yeah. And there's multiple companies that do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. So is that what you were? That's what you would in that
Not
world?
Not that specifically, but through APIs, application process interfaces, right? Yeah. So you talk. That's where it went. Ultimately, I was an EVP for a while for a startup out of Toronto. It's called Smart City Technology, where you have a cloud horizontal platform and you have all these different verticals. So you have apps, the meters, license plate recognition.
Yep.
The gates, the ticket machines, all of it.
All that stuff.
Yeah, one big, huge ecosystem.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, tons of ways. Not just another way to skin a cat, right?
There
And
you go.
make a dollar.
That's
right.
it. That's it.
So during this 20-year run, you meet your wife,
I did.
which is where? Where do you meet her?
I met her in Philadelphia. She was living in Philadelphia, and we connected. And I was living outside of DC, and
Okay.
I was. We did the weekend thing, and then a year later we got engaged, and we got married soon after that.
So a year between meeting her and engaged.
Yes.
So and what was Johnny?
2.
Oh, I was 5. I was 5 years. You?
Like 6 months.
Oh yeah, you were quick.
I was quick.
Yeah,
6 weeks.
you locked it
I
down.
locked it down. This is it.
So now, do you stay in Philly or the DC area during once
I
you're
did.
engaged?
I did. I had opened an office for that tech company, and then we got married in 2001 and stayed there till 2010.
Okay.
And then moved back
So
up.
did you have employees underneath you that you were running, or was it just?
Yeah, I was a regional manager.
Okay.
Yeah, and we had techs and
So you were running all that out of DC or the
Yeah.
Philadelphia area? Yeah.
No, out of like northern Virginia.
Oh, that's
Maryland.
Northern Virginia.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
got it.
DC.
And
yeah.
so what's the impetus behind moving
Up
north?
here.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had started a company, and the technology was the gates, the ticket machines.
So hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt, but so you're with that company that was your cousin's company.
Exactly.
You stay with them until 2010,
Exactly.
and then in 2010 you say, I'm going to start my own company.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you didn't like your cousin anymore, or because
it was just a good opportunity. No,
had to ask,
Yeah.
Man, you never know where that question
No,
can go.
no.
Well, as a matter
Are
of
you
fact, I
kidding
didn't.
Not at
That
all.
guy.
Not at all.
Let me tell you about him.
He
So-
gave me a great opportunity.
He did?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
so
neat.
grateful.
That's
so grateful.
another nudge.
That's
There's
right.
another little nudge.
That's right.
So you start that company in 2010.
Yep.
And what was that company?
It was Ultimate System Solutions, and we did. So I had a distribution agreement with an Austrian product. I did the TD Garden. You pull
Okay.
in the TD Garden, I did that system.
You got
Yeah.
if I got a ticket,
That's
that
right.
was you.
That was me.
When you say you got you had the system, did you have the whole whatever they call
The
it?
gates, the ticket machines, the pay stations.
All that stuff
of
came
it.
from you.
Right. I had a distribution agreement with the manufacturer.
Got it.
So we
if-
had the territory.
Got
so
it.
to
And
speak.
and if that one of them broke, they were calling your people to go fix it or
Correct.
try to fix it online or whatever.
Yeah. That's
Got
right.
it.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. And how long does that company go for?
We did. Well, I really opened it in 2008. But
Yep.
It took, and then till 2015.
Okay.
Yep.
And
then
during that time, so if your children are, so right around 2010, you have your 2008.
2007 was my first one.
2007.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then 2009.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. So that's right around. I have an 08 and a 2010.
Okay. They were
So-
both born in Fairfax, Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So now this company goes for 7 years to 2015.
Yeah, about 8 years. Yep,
Yeah.
7, 8 years.
And what happens then?
So the manufacturer, just the model of go-to-market strategy changed, and they were cutting out middle guys. So I did not want to work for that company, but a startup out of Toronto bought my office, and I was the VP for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same field.
More smart, same field, but more broad with the smart city technology.
So your
More holistic.
your career really evolved with the evolution of
Absolutely.
parking apps or parking
Yep.
solutions,
Yeah.
right?
parking
I mean,
solutions,
you
that's
were
exactly
kind
right.
of
Yep.
at the beginning, and then you moved on to what is pretty automated at TD Garden, right? That's a
Very
pretty
much so.
automated system. Press the button, you
That's
don't have to
right.
talk to anybody. Put the card in,
Yep.
out the door you go. All the way forward to now apps
Absolutely.
is where you sort of ended up at
Yep.
the last stretch.
Correct.
Okay, and you move up here in connection with that company.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, because we had the New England territory for
Okay.
that product.
got
That's
it.
right.
So, and where do you live now?
Sudbury.
How'd you decide Sudbury?
I didn't know where I wanted to live, and I visited a million towns, and I drove into that town and just loved it, and found a house that we rented for a couple of years before we bought. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a great town.
it is.
Yeah,
I lucked out. I had
Yeah.
no idea, really.
that's a
Yeah,
great area. That whole
Yeah.
Lincoln Sudbury area
Yeah.
is awesome.
It is.
Tons of history up there. I mean, tons of history. I mean,
history.
like dripping off the sides of buildings.
That's
Do you live in an old house or a new house?
No, 1956, old enough.
Old enough, yeah,
old
but
enough.
not like there's
Oh,
some
like
house.
18
not
no,
like
no.
so
Yeah.
I'm in a house 1896 or something like
Okay.
that.
That's old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when we bought it, we had the whole history of it done, which is really
Oh, that's
really
cool.
cool. Yeah. So in 2020, COVID hits,
COVID hits.
and nobody's parking anymore.
Nobody's. Yeah, you're quick, Dan.
Oh,
Look at that.
yeah, but you don't
are.
even think about,
You're
like,
sharp.
You don't even
That's
think
right.
about that.
That's
Like you
right.
don't like what just a collateral damage of COVID wiped out a 20-year career. I mean, am I
Yeah.
being too blunt?
Well,
Yes.
so I got laid off
Yeah.
in March or February, and then I did get another position with another kind of a smart city technology in September.
Yep.
But a month in, I realized I was not happy anymore.
Right.
I did not enjoy this industry, and I'm like, at the time I was 50, life's too short, and I needed to make a change.
Wow.
And yeah.
But not an easy change. I mean, you've got a newish house in Sudbury that you
Yeah.
bought a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You got kids that are
Yeah.
getting to that expensive age,
Absolutely.
right? I mean,
I got divorced in 2015.
so
I
that
was
there's an
divorced.
expense.
There you go. There you go.
But you pull the trigger
I absolutely pulled the trigger.
and you get into mortgages.
I did.
How does that happen?
Through my cousin.
This is a good family to know. Hey,
Yeah.
you need a plumber? I'm over
Yeah,
here.
that's
Parking
right.
over here.
That's right.
Mortgages over here.
Exactly.
So tell that story.
Yeah. So a cousin of mine has been with Fairway for probably 15, 16 years. Had a great run, loved the company, had been asking me for years actually to join them. And I was not ready to make that move. I wish I did.
Yeah.
It was a great run in
Yeah,
2010 to 20. It was
Unbelievable run. That's when I was
Unbelievable.
closing loans. It
Yeah.
was
It
ridiculous.
was ridiculous. And, I called him up and, I trust him. He's done well. I heard great things about the organization. And so I just pulled the trigger. Yeah.
So this is the opportunity. So as you can see, we don't talk a ton of business here, but this is the opportunity where we can talk a little bit about Fairway. So tell us a little bit about Fairway Mortgage. Give us your elevator pitch.
Sure.
Why you like Fairway Mortgage?
Sure. So I'll give you the 30-second about. So Fairway was started in 96
Yeah.
by Steve Jacobson. He was a mortgage loan officer, started a small broker shop, and he's built it. I think we're the number 4 largest lender in the nation. We're massive.
And you're a direct lender.
We're a direct lender,
Okay.
right, or what's called a correspondent
Lender.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
So what I love about Fairway. So Fairway, one of the first things I noticed when I joined was their core values is prominent in their dialogue and in the culture. And what I realized soon is it's not a talk. They walk it.
Yeah.
They walk it. It's very, very important and it's from the top down.
Yep.
The CEO is an amazing, amazing man, amazing leader, amazing human being. And just, this whole thing about this email every day, I can't express how many opportunities that Fairway provides its employees for personal growth and development. There's a women's group and a men's group, and I'm part of the men's group. And within the men's group, we've segmented for guys who have addiction problems.
Okay.
Right. For guys who are troubling with family. Right. There's about and I've been part of these a lot. I've been interviewed, and it's real.
Yeah.
Right. And yes, so there's this tagline of Fairway: mortgages is what we do, but it's not who we are.
I like that.
Yeah. And it's not like that is. It sounds like a line. It's not a line.
It's not a line.
Right. And so back to, I made a decision at 50. Here I am. I have younger kids. I was divorced. And I'm like, I'm going to be working for a while.
Yeah.
And I do not like what I'm doing right now.
Right.
And the worst thing in my mind is waking up every day, and I know a lot of people do this, is to be dreading it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it anymore. And that's why I made the change. And I cannot tell you how happy I am.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And
I feel so fortunate.
That's, but
it's amazing.
So to just keep reinventing yourself it's
right.
awesome.
That's right.
I did that. My arc was within the legal career. Like I did criminal defense, I did drunk driving defense, and I did real estate. And I had those moments, mornings, I should say, where I woke up and I'm like, I don't want to go to work. And I can say that I don't have that here at Crowd Lending because of my wonderful staff.
Yeah, look what you get to
We have a good office, but I do enjoy coming to work, and that's so valuable. Because if you don't, you get old fast, right?
Yeah, I was like dying inside.
Yeah,
it's the worst.
Yeah,
it's the worst. And I know a lot of people feel they're stuck. And look, it was a big jump off a cliff.
Yeah,
but you have to see, you have to come to a place in your life what's more important.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not easy. I don't look down on anybody who sticks in a job that they don't like. But if anything comes out of this podcast, life is short. And I also had to be an example for my kids.
Yeah.
Right. So, there's a lot to it, and I'm a better person for it.
Well, I think you're doing a wonderful job. But anybody in my mind that can say, I've got to make a change and then actually make the change, that's a pretty brave person.
Yeah. I was scared. Yeah, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
I was
Hell
very
yeah.
scared. Yeah.
Where's the next paycheck coming from? How am I going to keep my lights on? Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that's
that's motivation again.
Yeah,
for sure.
That is a nudge.
That is a nudge.
That is a nudge.
Yeah.
And so now you're going on your fourth year.
Yes.
You're going on your fourth year.
Yeah.
And your timing wasn't fantastic.
No.
But the rates are coming down.
Yep. And it's funny, I work with a lot of guys who've been doing this for many, many years who are very successful. And a lot of guys and women in this industry from 2010 to 20, they certainly worked, but I think the path was a little easier.
Sure.
Right. And so coming from, being a plumber and then starting, my own company from scratch, like getting up and grinding, that's
what you
normal.
do.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Right. So this time I understand a lot of people are freaking out. I don't have that history of low rates and refis and
the phone was just ringing all the time because people went from 5 to 4
That's right.
to 3. I mean, you get every client was 4 refinances.
Exactly.
And I was doing the closings on them, so I would see, you got to know these people. Hey, Jim, nice to see you again. Just saw you 6 months ago, and boom, they're refining.
Right.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Does not.
So it's a little bit more of a grind.
But to me, that's the slang we use, but that is just normal business.
Normal business.
The question is, do you enjoy it?
Right. Do you enjoy the grind?
What's your why?
What's
right?
your why?
What's your why? We talked about that before the cast of
I
Simon
feel like you have
Sinek's.
that's like an inside joke, and I'm
No.
not.
It's yeah.
What's your why?
Yeah. What's your why? Simon Sinek, wrote a
Yeah.
book about that. But yeah, no, I mean, it's, and look, I have to say this humbly, very humbly, because I've had a lot of support and people. I'm in the top 10 of Fairway loan officers. I'm in the 1% in America. And, part of it is people would ask me the first year, oh my God, how are you doing this? And I said, a 20-year-old asked me once in Fairway, a young guy. And I said, look, you can't look at me and you. Like, I have thousands of people in my network.
Right.
I have a vast business background, right? It's a little different for me than starting at 25, not having a big network, not understanding business, not how to talk about or explain systems. I mean, when I won the TD Garden parking system, I sat in front of a massive table of people, and I had to explain a very complex, right, system and I designed it and put it together. I mean, that's so. Not to say mortgages aren't complicated,
Right.
but that's really what you're doing is, right, you're listening to somebody's financial picture and you have to put together the best package, explain it to them in a way that they can understand, that they're comfortable, that they're part of the process, they're empowered in making the right decision.
Yeah.
Right. So it's for me, it was a very natural thing. And to your point, everybody's happy when they close.
Yeah.
That's the best.
It is.
I mean, it's amazing.
It really is. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
It's
a
beautiful.
nice way to go through life.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I feel fortunate that I can do this because you can really, people have commoditized the mortgage industry and even real estate in general because it's been such an easy process.
Yep.
But now that I think things have been culled, so to speak, because of the rates and the inventory, you really have to be honing your process, professionalism, your network, do business with people who are very good. I think, last year, 50,000 loan officers did not renew their license, and this year is going to be more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Well, so I want to add, so one thing that I've noticed walking out the door, because as we sort of come to the end of this podcast, is everybody that gets on the other side of that door always says, geez, I wanted to say one thing, or I wanted to tell one story about my upbringing, or I wanted to tell one story about something that gave me a push in my life. Do you have it? Do you have anything else you want to say? Did we miss anything?
Look, I was very fortunate to, win a raffle, right? That's how I got
That's right. He's a raffle winner.
That's right. I'm a
That's
raffle
right.
winner.
He's a raffle winner. I forgot about that.
Right.
Trying to figure out how I knew you.
Yeah. But I was at your house for dinner last week. What are
Oh, is that
talking
you?
about? Damn. Oh my God.
By the way, you could have totally slipped a mother joke into that right there.
Yeah. That's okay.
Moving on.
Moving on. Everything happens for a reason. I believe that.
I do. I'm with you on that.
I believe that. And so, you know what? I think if I can leave with anybody, look, this podcast is amazing. I've never listened to you guys, and I'm like so impressed.
Yeah, appreciate that.
And good for you guys. Like, this is very cool, and I'm very grateful.
And now you're going to be a listener.
And now I'm going to be a listener. You bet I am.
I think we got 12 now.
I heard 11,000 people.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul McRae. I love it. Yeah.
Look, I think the takeaway for people going into 2024, and especially in the real estate business, 2023 was hard, right? There's a slang line we say, "Stay alive till 25." But I'm going to twist that. Let's thrive until 25.
Oh, I like that.
Right.
I like that.
And so the takeaway for people listening is, just figure out what's your why. Why are you in this business? If you're in it just for the money, you're in the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Right. At the end of the day, the success that crowd lending has, or Matt Lazowski has at Fairway Mortgage, is not because I'm just offering a mortgage. It's how I am going about it. It's the how, and it's my why. Right. And you have to love what you do. And if you don't, I'm going to encourage people to take inventory of that and figure that out for themselves.
Which is what you did.
That's what I did
at 50.
At 50.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. I have my parting story that I like to tell. So there's this a young boy. He's 12 or 13 years old, and he's got a very short temper. I could have been me growing up. We're not talking about me, but it totally could have been me. That's why this story resonates. He's got a very short temper, and he keeps losing his temper. So his father, they live on a farm, and his father gives him a box of nails and a hammer and says, every time you lose your temper and yell at somebody, I want you to go over and hammer a nail into the fence. So he goes over and he keeps losing his temper. And over time, he gets better at controlling his temper because he doesn't want to hammer these nails, and he gets better at controlling his emotions. And he gets to a point where he's not losing his temper anymore. So the father finds him and says, you're doing a wonderful job with your temper. I want you to now go and take the nails out of the fence. Every time you control your temper, you get to take a nail out. So over time, he takes all the nails out of the fence, and the father finds him and says, well, you're doing a wonderful job with your temper. Let's take a walk over to the fence. So the father walks him over the fence, and he says, look at the fence. All of those scar marks from when you lost your temper are still there. The father said, when you lose your temper and you say things that hurt people, yeah, you can say you're sorry, but the scar will always remain. And that's the message that the father told the son. You can plunge that knife into someone's chest, and you can pull it out and say sorry, but that scar is always going to remain. So be careful what you say, and choose your words wisely, and let the words be kind and sweet.
Oh, God.
Amen.
I love that.
That's
right? So that's
Yeah, man.
that's, by the way, that is directed at me.
Who is this guy?
Oh, with me?
Yeah.
Talking?
Yeah.
I'm going to let my words be kind and sweet. I think you should too, Keith.
That'll last 2 minutes with you.
Matt, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. It was wonderful to get to know you, hear your story.
You as well.
And we really appreciate it. Keithy, as always,
Danny, thank
wonderful to see you. Let's get some better jokes next time. Root Beer, congratulations on your engagement.
Yay, thank you.
Johnny Cops better start listening. But as always, if anybody has any questions or just wants to talk, give me a call because everybody needs a nudge. Thank you, everybody. See you later.
Bye.